So this video is somewhat dedicated to a subscriber because they asked me about my 7-year relationship and how I got through that grieving process. So I thought, why not make a video on this? Because I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going through a breakup, that went through a breakup or headed towards a breakup. So somebody out there is somewhere within those three different storms. And I just want to first start off by saying grieving can be a long process, but it also depends on how long your relationship was. If you were in a long relationship, then your grieving process is going to be quite longer as well. If you're in a 1 month, 6 month, 2 month relationship, your grieving period may not be that long. So you have to take this and apply it to your particular relationship. I also want to say that women don't necessarily grieve like men. And I mean that in this way. Typically, when a man wants to get done or get over with a woman, we'll break up with them right away, or we'll do something stupid like cheat. We'll get sloppy. We'll do something intentionally because we don't want to be in this relationship anymore. We don't usually stay with a person that we're out of love with or that we don't like anymore. Now, it's different for women. Women will stay in a relationship sometimes for years and not be in love anymore or have fell out of love with that person. So when they break up with that person, they may not have a long grieving process because they were grieving while they were in the relationship. This is very common for women. They'll break up with somebody and be cool. And it's not because the person didn't mean something to them. It's because these last few months or these last few years, they were already detaching and already in a form of grieving while they were still, quote unquote, dating you or married to you or engaged to you. The one thing I was trying to tell my subscriber is that you can't focus on that relationship anymore. You can't focus on her or him, and you can't focus on the beautiful moments that you might have shared with that person in a relationship. That's done. That's over with. You can't have this limerence. You can't continue to think or fantasize or dream or linger on to these old memories that are not coming back. They're not going to duplicate themselves. They do nothing but make your grieving process a lot longer. You have to find a way to move on. Now, moving on doesn't just mean like to a new partner. Moving on means putting your focus into something else. Now, that could be a new partner, but that could be something else. That could be putting your focus into you, trying to grow yourself, develop yourself. That could be putting your focus into a new hobby, something that you love doing, that you're trying to get better at. Maybe it's golfing. Maybe you want to put energy and focus into golfing. So you go and get some new golfing coaches, new clubs and stuff, and you really put your energy into becoming better at that sport. But it comes down to you taking your focus off of what was and now putting your focus on what's to come. And that's what I did. I focused on becoming a better person. I took accountability over the things that I did, what I did to cause the end of the relationship. And I improved on those things. I focused on those things. How can I do XYZ better so I'm a better partner to the next person that I date? I put focus into self improvement. And not only that, I found purpose. And I know some of you guys may not believe in God, and that's fine, But in my story, I was called by God, and I started to learn a lot more about the Word, and that led me into preaching the Word. I have another YouTube channel which I do nothing but talk about the Word of God, but that led me to helping two people stop from unaliving themselves. So I helped two people with that, and I believe that wasn't by coincidence. I believe that was totally God led, for me to be able to speak the word into people to change their mindset and put them on a different path forward. So God using me. I don't believe in coincidences too much. I believe things happen by design. This world is created by design. You know, the whole circle of life, everything plays a part in the ecosystem. That is design. That's not random. So that's just quick little synopsis of how I think, what I believe. But you guys don't have to share the same as me. I love you if you do. I love you if you don't. You guys are all still my brother and sister. I love you all. But I found purpose in my grieving period, and that helped me. Um, it helped put focus to something. It helped me want to pursue something. It gave me energy. It gave me life. Along with that, I was, going to the gym 5 days a week, which not only helps you from a external physical point of view, but it also helps you mentally. Like exercise is so great for the brain, and just creating a positive atmosphere for yourself. So I suggest anybody that's grieving or going through something difficult, to work out, to exercise, whatever form that may be for you. You don't have to do what I did. I lifted weights and played a lot of basketball. Now, that could be something different for you. That can be, running on a treadmill or running on a track or doing, you know, all types of playing tennis. It could be something, just something physical, some type of physical activity. I always suggest people to do when they're ever feeling, a little bit depressed or if they're grieving, because that helped me a lot. So the point is, my focus was on other things rather than on what was in the past with her, with our relationship, the things we used to do. Will things remind you of that person? Absolutely. Songs will, activities will. The beach does for me. Me and my ex used to go and walk the beach all the time to pick up seashells and, take them home, try to find sand dollars. We used to live down in Sarasota by Siesta Key. So, beautiful beach. Siesta Key Beach is my favorite all time. So we used to find stuff, take it home. I got a ton of aquatic stuff in my apartment. I love the water. So, of course, my memories are tied to her when it comes to that, when it comes to music, when it comes to certain movies, TV shows. It reminds me of her. But that's gonna happen in the very beginning. During that grieving process, that's gonna happen. That's not something that you can fight off. That's not something um that you can ignore. When feelings come, allow them to happen. Don't try to fight your feelings. Allow yourself to grieve, and whatever process you're in currently in that grieving stage, allow yourself to feel. It's okay to feel. It's okay to cry, bro. I did a lot of crying during that time. It's okay. Because if you don't cry, if you don't allow yourself to grieve properly, that energy doesn't go away. It just transforms into something else and shows itself in a different form. Because I didn't grieve properly when my brother died, that energy turned into anger. So I was angry all the time. I was angry at people. I would be quick to fight. So that energy doesn't go away. So when you have feelings coming to you, when you start to feel things, allow yourself to feel. It doesn't make you weak if you're a man, doesn't make you less of a man. I grew up in the streets, and I don't really care if people know that I was grieving or crying or anything like that. That don't change who I am. I still don't play. You know what I mean? I can still be this grieving guy who will still put the pause on, So it doesn't change anything about you. It's okay to be able to grieve. It shows more courage and strength to allow yourself to be fluid in your emotions rather than somebody who feels like they need to hide themselves. So allow yourself to express yourself. It also helps with that grieving process. Everything's a timetable. You're trying to get through this, but you have to allow your mind and your body to get through this. You got to allow your spirit to get through this, because going through a breakup, especially if it was a long-term relationship, it feels like a death. Very similar to like losing my brother. It feels like a death. It feels like half of you is gone, especially if you did everything with this person. If you ate dinner with this person, watched TV with this person, went to the movies with, you did everything with this person. It feels like half of you's gone. So it feels like death. But you'll eventually get through. And with time, you'll start to notice less of an impact that person has on you. So when you get triggered by little things like the ocean or music or TV shows, when little things that triggers you or used to trigger you in the past where you would have this great influx of emotions because that thing triggered you, it'll no longer have that same control over you. Like when I go to the beach, it used to be triggering for me because it would make me think of my ex more from a sad point of view or um I'm not happy. It changed it. It had an effect on my entire emotion. But now when I go to the beach, I still may think of my ex, but it doesn't have the same effect on my emotion. I'm not like, oh, I miss her or oh, I wish we can get back together. It's more of me and my ex used to come here all the time. I had great memories here. So these memories in the beginning of the grieving period, they're sad memories. Like you grieve over these memories, but as you start to detach from that person, they start to be just great memories from a part of your life, from a period of your life. Like I used to come to this beach all the time. I used to love this beach. Me and Marina used to do X, Y, Z at this beach. It's less about you being sad about those memories, but accepting those memories as a part of who you are, as a part of um, who you are today. Because without those memories, without that past, you don't become who you are today. So you become grateful and happy about those memories because they have shaped you in one way or another. So when you start to see that those type of triggering things don't have that much an effect on you anymore, that's when you know you're moving in the right direction. That's when you know you're starting to heal. And gradually you'll start to respond better and better to those little triggers to a point to where it doesn't bother you no more. You'll get to a point where you may see that person with a new partner and it doesn't bother you anymore because you have fully detached yourself and you allowed yourself to grieve that process. But it's all about where you put your focus. Put your focus on something else in that grieving period. Allow yourself to improve on yourself. Allow yourself to find purpose in that grieving period, that storm. We're always going through something. We're either in a storm, on our way out of a storm, or going into a storm. So it's all about what period of that storm you're in and how do you navigate those waters when you're in that particular season. So I hope this helps somebody out there understand that you need to allow yourself to grieve. Grieving is a part of the process. It's a natural part of the process as it pertains to breaking up with somebody that you maybe loved or had strong emotions about. So it's a part of the process. Don't try to skip steps in that process. Allow that process to happen with fluidity and allow yourself to feel. So if you do those things, I promise you'll make it through. You'll grow from that experience. You'll grow from that period of grieving. You'll be a better person on the opposite end of it because most people, they don't do any homework while being in that storm. They just sit there, they mope, they be sad, and they don't grow. So whatever toxic traits that they had, they carry into the next relationship. They don't become a better person. They don't become a better partner. So we're all about improving, becoming better versions of ourselves. So we have to use these periods and these opportunities as periods of growth for us. But I thank you guys for checking out this video. If you like my content, you like my videos, please leave a comment, hit the like and subscribe. I like to engage with all my people. I'm trying to build a community and I'm accepting of everybody that walks through the door. I want you guys all to talk about your experiences or, even if they're different from mine, I want you to still be able to, verbalize whatever it is that you went through. So let me know what you guys went through. Talk about your stories. I promise I'll respond to everyone at least once. sometimes the comments can get crazy where it's like when it hits like start hitting like 100, it's hard to constantly continue to reply to people. But I try to reply to everyone at least once. So if you leave a comment, I promise you I'll respond to it. Um, but I thank you guys for checking out this video. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you were here with me today, and I appreciate you guys for that. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.